All right, fifth grade class, I have a couple questions for you. And remember when we were talking about the story Going with the Flow?
Yeah.
Who was the character in that story?
Mark.
Mark. Okay, what were some other characters in that story?
Keith.
Keith. How about another one?
Mrs. Lavoy.
Ah, Mrs. Lavoy. Yes, that's right.
His dad.
His dad. Any others?
Jamie.
Jamie.
His sister.
Sister.
His mom.
Mom. Very good. Got one?
Jamie's mom and dad.
Jamie's mom and dad. Another one?
His old school.
Some people from the old school. Yes, they were mentioned. Here's my question to you. So you have an index card in front of you. Here is my question. My first question is, what is a character? Please write down your response on the index card that you have. What is a character? From your own head, your own thinking, what is a character in a story? Pencils down, and that will tell me that you're all ready for the next question. Good job. Good job. Okay. A lot of pencils are still going, so I'll wait another few seconds. What is a character? Okay, all right, finish up your last word or so, your thought. Here is the next question. How can we learn about characters? How can we learn about characters? Write that down on your index card. How can we learn about characters? Pencils down. That will indicate to me that you are done with your thought. How can we learn about characters? Good job. Good job. All right, here's my next direction. As a couple of you are finishing up with your final thought there, here's my next direction. You are going to, with whisper voices in your groups, you're going to share your card in your group. And I'm going to give you 1 minute for every single person to share how they answered these questions. Ready? Whisper voices, go. Nice, right here. Okay, 5th grade. Now what I want you to do is tell me some of your answers for how or what is a character and how you can learn about a character. I'm going to come over here. Isaiah, tell me what you got.
I think a character is a person who is in a story.
A character is a person who is in a story. Who else said I wrote down something very similar to that? Okay, all right. And then, Gracie, what did you write for how can we learn about characters?
By hearing other characters talk about them or having them talk about themselves.
Hearing other characters talk about them or having the characters talk about themselves. Raise your hand if you said, yes, I got that too. Anybody else? All right, how about someone over here? What did you put? Nice and loud. Alexis.
By reading a book or movie the characters.
So you can learn about them by reading the book, right? Or the movie that the character's in. What did you put for what is a character?
Someone that is in a book or movie and they play some kind of part as person.
Someone who's in a book or a movie and they play some kind of a part. Did anybody think of a character could be in a play? Anybody think of that one? I thought maybe you would, Isaiah, because of your background. Did you, Anthony? A play. Very good. Okay, I want you to take these note cards. You're going to put them away. And I have some morning work that you can keep going on. Remember, there was Where the Red Fern Grows, chapter 15, for the math. I'm going to call up groups individually in just a second. I want you to look back over here at this back table before you do that. And at this back table, you will see some activities back here. We have the what to do board, and we have 1 through 6. Number 1 is art is all around us, and it gives the page numbers, and it gives paper, and the directions are inside the little 2-story short story about what to do, okay? Number 2 are the word searches, that if you say this strikes your fancy, then you can do that. Number 3 are some math games, some really good math brain teasers. Okay, number 4, the ABCs and 1, 2, 3s. You know how to do that activity. Please remember, use our vocabulary word wall. That will be a great resource. You may also use the dictionary. Number 5 is a picture puzzle that you get to use your eyes, and you really need to use your brains and how to work this. Directions are here. And number 6 is a nature game. If you are a nature lover, and also a word lover, this is an activity that you can do. Do you have to do all of them 5th grade?
No.
No. You get to do what? Raise your hand. What do you get to do? Delaney?
The ones that you want.
Yeah, the ones that strike your interest, that you really think that you will enjoy. So you do the ones that strike your interest. When you are done with the activities over here, there's always the morning work to go back to. So before you do anything else, start with morning work. These activities will be after we're done with your reading. Once I call you up group by group, group C I'm going to start with first, then I'm going to go to group B. I'm going to explain for group C what to do, and then I'll release you to go do it. Group B, I'll explain what to do, and then I'll release you to go do it. Group A will be the group that's going to work with me today. Until I call your group name, please work on the morning work. Once I call your group name, put your morning work away, do the reading work that's for today, and it's going to be based on characters. Once you're done with your reading work, you don't have to go back to the morning work just yet. You can have some enjoyment with this back table. Does everyone understand? Okay, good, very good. All right, so you can take out maybe Where the Red Fern Grows, read chapter 15, work on math until I call you up. Group C, you don't have to take out anything. I'm going to call you first. So group C, please come up here with your chairs. Okay, please come up here with your chair so I can explain to you what you're going to do. All right, group C. This is what you're going to do. And it deals with character. You okay, Delaney? Okay. We're focusing on characters this week, and so you're going to have this. I'm going to give you a piece of paper. Here, I'll take that from you. You're going to get a piece of paper. Now on this piece of paper, there are questions. There are 5 questions. Some of the questions are real thinker questions, okay? You really gotta use your brain for some of them and really dig deep. What you're gonna do is you're gonna get a storybook. Here's a storybook. It's called Relating to Others. And you're gonna turn to, here, can I borrow yours, please? You're gonna turn to page 4 and 5. And it's called The Challenge. That's what you're gonna turn to. Okay. This story, I'm gonna give you a little fact about this story. This story is not only did Bessie Coleman obtain her pilot's license, but she did it before someone very famous. And you're going to see if that is in the story. There's a very famous female pilot, and she did it before that person. I bet you think you know, don't you? Okay. All right, so hold on to that thought. So you're going to read about her. Her name is Bessie Coleman, and then you're going to answer the questions 1 through 5, and you may write right on this paper. And the directions are, answer the following questions in complete sentences. So what does that mean? You start with a
Capital letter.
and you end with
A period.
punctuation. Remember that you have your punctuation within, like commas, things like that. Remember, if you use conjunction words, where does the comma go? In front or behind?
In front.
In front. So please remember to do that. Remember all of your mechanics with grammar. So that's what you're going to do. You may work with partners, but because it's odd numbers, I'm going to have one group be 3. So me and Hunter, you're going to work together, and then Alexis, Isaiah, and Delaney, you're going to work together. You're going to read the story together, and you can answer the questions together. You need to use whisper voices. So please get a pencil, okay? You might want to get something else to lean on because you'll be using this book to be referring back to it. And you're going to find a spot in the room and whisper read to each other in your group or partners. Understand? Yeah. All right, take your chairs and you can go. Group B, please come up. Hi, Group B. Okay, Group B. Come here, I need some people right here. Okay, Group B, here are your questions. Okay, here are your questions. Okay, you're going to be reading a book called Grounding Grandma. That's what you're going to read, okay? And this book, it's a family book, and it's going to be talking a lot about the characters. So before you read the book, it's a good idea to do what with these questions? What do you think? Yeah, read the questions. Look over the questions so you have an idea of what you're going to have to do. So you with a partner, and your partners will be, okay, I believe it is Emma and Ethan, and then Nicole and Gracie. You will work together. Do whisper reading. You can sit anywhere in the room. You'll need a pencil. You'll need something hard to lean on. And you're going to focus on the characters in the group. And you're going to answer the questions, and it says in complete sentences. So what does it mean? You begin with a capital. You end with punctuation. And remember the punctuation in between, like commas and whatnot. And if you use conjunctions words, where does the commas go? In front of the conjunction words. Very good. So you each will get one of these books. And the book is, the story is the entire book. So open up to the very first page. It's going to start on page 2. Okay, please remember to read every word, and then when you're done with this activity, remember you can go back to this back table and get some activities that suits you and what you feel that would be really interesting for you. So I'm going to let you go. You're going to work with your partners, and again, Nicole and Gracie together, and Ethan and Emma will be together. Get something hard to lean on and go enjoy the reading and answer the questions. Okay, Group A, you can put your morning work away. In Group A, bring your chairs and come meet with me, please. You'll need a pencil, Group A. You'll need a pencil. Anthony, why don't you come over here here and sit. Cammie, you can scooch down a little bit. Let Anthony have a spot in here. Thank you. Okay, we are going to be reading what's called The Secret Fort. So each of you will get a book. 5th grade, out there reading, please make sure you have whisper voices with each other. Hunter, whisper voices. Whisper voices. Thank you. All right, you will also be getting questions. So here's some questions. And let me tell you what I'm looking for today. I'm looking for fluency. Does anyone know what fluency means? Lexi?
Like stacking,
Yeah, that we kind of exactly what I said to you before in the past. You read like you're talking. Okay, so we're going to work on that. Okay, make sure you have your names on your papers. Put your name. You can put the date as well. I didn't put a line for date, but just stick the date at the top somewhere. You know what to do. There's some vocabulary that's going to be in this book. Do you know what? Remember with Going with the Flow, the main character, what was his problem? Not necessarily a problem, but if you described him as someone, how would you describe him? He was deaf. Yeah, so what did he need when he was in school? Translator, or what's another word? Interpreter. So that word is in our story today. So what do you think, right off the bat, can you tell me something of what you think one of the characters will be? Yeah, one of the characters will be deaf. So we're going to talk about that character. Another word that we had with Going with the Flow that's also in this book is the word gestured. Remember us talking about gestured. What does gestured mean?
It means like give them a little push to, or like talk to make them move.
Okay, Ethan. Yeah, like some hand movements. Like if I said to you, I'm gesturing, do you think you know what I'm saying? Yeah, come here, come over here. And if I do it really rapidly, what does that mean? Hurry. Okay, so hand gestures are just that. It's a way of doing what? Talking, communicating. It's a way of communicating. All right, the word conversation. What does that mean?
Like talking to each other.
Yeah, talking to each other, conversing, being able to talk to each other. Now I'm going to ask that when you read, if you could read loudly. Can you do that for me? Okay, thank you very much. All right, The Secret Fort. Let's look at the questions that we're going to be trying to answer together. Number 1, why doesn't Emily feel comfortable at her new school? So as we're reading, let's think about that. Number 2, how does Emily communicate with people? We'll think about that. Number 3, why does Emily like running by the cornfields? Number 4, what happens to Emily's fort on page 8 and 9? Number 5, why does Emily like going to her fort? Number 6, what is Emily's first reaction when she sees the 2 girls and her ruined fort? Number 7, how do Sally and Karen show, it's supposed to be show, guys, show Emily that they want to be her friend? And number 8, how did Emily's feelings about her new school change at the end of the story? So when you read, I would like you to read nice and loud so I'm able to hear you. Okay, so ready? Let's turn to the very first page. The Secret Fort is by Juanita Haville and it's illustrated by Thomas Sperling. So let's go from the front cover to the first page. Okay. All right, 5th grade, can you lower your voices out there, please? Little bit lower. Thanks for the lowering. All right. How about if we start with Lexi?
Emily ran home for the first time. There was nothing unusual about her. Emily loved to run. She had been the fastest runner in 5th grade in her old school. She didn't know yet if that would happen as she was. She had only been there for a week. She didn't feel comfortable at school yet. Now she was the only deaf student in class. Before, her best friend Neil was deaf too, and they had started to have a conversation.
All right, thank you. Maya, can you put your book on the table, please? So what can you tell us about Emily right from the first page? What can you tell us about Emily? Looks like she likes to run. Okay. What else can you tell us? Ethan. She's deaf and she has an interpreter. Lexi.
She's nervous about her new school.
She's nervous about her new school. What else can you tell us?
She was the fastest runner in her fifth grade.
Say it again.
She was the fastest runner in her old school.
Fastest runner in her old school. Very good. So she has an interpreter. Are there more deaf students in her classroom? No, so she's the only one. All right, I'll need to take a new reader. So Maya, read nice and loud, please. Can you put the book down? Thanks. Read nice and loud.
Emily ran into her house and headed for the living room. Her older sister...
Family room.
Her older sister Lisa had sat at the computer. Emily was disappointed. She wanted to have a computer conversation with Nell. Lisa jumped when Emily tapped her on the shoulder. She signed to tell her that she wanted to Nell. No way, Emily. I've got to report due, Lisa said. Emily read her lips. Lisa knew how to sign, but sometimes she was lazy. Mom and Dad were very good too, but they always signed to her.
Very good. All right, so let's turn the page. Yes. Oh, what did you notice in the picture? I'm not sure. I think it's just the way it's drawn. But nice observing. Yes, I think that's just the way it's drawn. So, all right, I need you to read nice and loud, please. So we're over some of the whisper reading out there. 5th grade, please make sure you are whisper reading. Thank you. Lower the volume. All right, Ethan, go ahead and read the next page.
Lisa gestured towards the room. Emily stopped frustrated. She barred back the door to tell her she was going out running. Lisa nodded and went off with Emily. Out to the back door, along up the backyard, and along the path beside the cornfield. There was a new house at the edge of town. Emily liked running beside the cornfield. She didn't have to watch all the time for city traffic, which she didn't.
Very good. That is one of our questions. We'll be going back over that. Okay. Ethan, why don't you read the next page too? Go ahead. There's just a little bit more.
Emily ran quickly as she came to the woods beside the cornfield and so experienced. There was a broken rotted fence beside the table and breakfast.
All right. Okay. So Maya noticed that some of the questions we're able to answer already. So just think back that when we go to the questions, try to remember back where it was in the story. Make a little mental note. Okay, Anthony, nice and loud. Please read.
It was cool under the trees. Some of the maples had changed colors. Bright orange and red leaves lay scattered across the ground, and we breathed in the wonderful, spicy, deadly, dried leaf smell of fall. Then saw a large broken branch hanging into the ground. The branch was still attached to a tree, and I gave Emily an idea.
Okay, then she saw the large broken branch. Yes, and that gave Emily the idea. Okay, yes. Absolutely, go ahead. All right, why don't you keep going? That was just a little bit. Why don't you keep going?
As fast as she could, Emily ran back to the cornfield and gathered a dozen sturdy, dried corn stalks. She took them to a broken branch and leaned them against it to make a shelter. She fastened the stalks together with corn leaves. I need some more, she said, and then went back to the field. When she had a wall of stalks, she brushed dried leaves onto the floor and crawled into her new fork to sit and think for a while. That night, Emily emailed Nell to tell her about the fork. It's the best hideout ever. I wish you were there. You were here, she wrote. She was going to type more. Her dad came into her in the room and gestured toward her. Emily could see light and she started to storm. So she shut off the computer.
All right, very good. Okay, Cammie, you're gonna read the next page nice and loud. Okay, go ahead.
The next day, Emily raced to her fort right after school. She took some comic books and a bottle of juice to store them. She stopped short when she saw her fort. The cornerstones had been ripped from the fallen branch, and her leaf carpet was thin and patchy. Had someone come and torn her fort apart? Then she remembered the storm last night. Instead of giving up, Emily decided to build another, stronger fort. She ran back home and got some old wood, a hammer, and nails from the garage.
Garage, good.
She found a large piece of canvas. It would make a good roof.
Make a great roof. Very good. All right, so let's keep going. Let's see, nice and loud.
Emily got some food crackers, another bottle of juice, more comics, and her favorite science fiction trilogy.
Trilogy. Anybody know what a trilogy is? What's a trilogy?
Like a summary of a movie.
Not quite. Not quite. If I said to you a tricycle,
Yes,
three things. A tricycle has how many wheels? Three. A trilogy is a series of either books or movies of how many? Three. Okay, so keep going. Oh. Then she plays.
Then she plays in an old way. When she reached the bridge, she nailed the words to the dead branch, then fastened canvas over it. Instead of the fort, she made a shelf for her books with two boards and some rocks. Once again, she piled these on the floor. She left her food supply under the shelf. No storm would fort down.
Emily was sure of that, yes. Okay, I'm gonna have Maya read. But nice and loud, please, Maya. You're the furthest one away.
The rest of the week, she went to the fort after school. She even did her homework there. On the weekend,
Excuse me, Maya. Delaney's group, a little loud, please. You need to lower your voices. Thank you very much. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry, Maya.
on the weekend, she took a little stool to the fort along with a plastic carton for her books. If it stormed, she wanted to be sure her books would stay dry. On Monday, just as she entered the woods, she saw a squirrel dashing away from the clearing. Then a dozen blackbirds flew towards her out of the woods. Someone else was there.
Okay, thank you. You can actually keep reading the next paragraph. Go ahead.
Emily crept toward the clearing. She caught a sight of two girls and hid behind a bush to watch them. One girl with long black hair and red windbreaker
Good.
was in her class at school. Emily didn't recognize the other one. She had short brown hair and blue jacket.
And a blue jacket. Good. All right, Ethan, nice and loud, please.
Emily tried to follow their conversation, but she wasn't close enough to read their lips yet. Most of the boards had been pulled off the branch and lay in heap. The brown-haired girl gestured towards the ground. Emily saw a plastic box on the side. Her books looked like someone tossed them into the air. Some of the cracker pages were open and lying on the ground.
cracker packages.
Oh.
That's okay. All right. Keep going.
Emily felt anger pounding in her chest. As those two girls wrecked her fort, she watched them pick up the books carefully and stack them by her. They found the lid and cracked the plastic box and put the packages back inside before snapping the lid.
All right. Anthony, nice and loud, please.
Emily leaned forward. A branch that she held in her hand broke off. She could feel the branch and was sure the girls had heard it. They stopped and looked her way. The brown-haired girl shouted something, but Emily couldn't follow. Emily stood up and walked toward them. She didn't know what to expect. It wasn't always easy to have a conversation with hearing people without an interpreter. And she wasn't sure that these kids were up to. She gestured toward the fort and then pointed toward south. Black-haired girl turned to her front. Karen, she's the new kid at school. She's dead, remember?
Okay. Cammy, nice and loud, please.
The brown-haired girl said something about the fort and private property. Emily could barely read her lips because she was shouting. Emily gave up and leaned down to pick up the boards. The black-haired girl walked over to help.
Okay, turn the page. Keep going, Cammy. Thank you.
Oh, when the canvas was laid out flat with the boards on it, the girl said, "My name is Sally and this is Karen. Too bad about your fort." Emily stared at her fort. She was glad Sally and Karen hadn't done it, but she couldn't stop a sad feeling from welling up when she looked at the place. It was a wreck.
Go ahead.
She felt a hand on her shoulder and turned to look at Sally. Sally pointed to the litter of boards. Then she gestured to all three of them. She pretended to build something, and Emily knew she was offering to help. Karen told them they should build a fort on the other side of the fence. She said the man who owned this property had wanted the fort there. Karen explained that the man had often told kids not to go on his property. They carried everything to the edge of the cornfield.
Okay, stop there. Okay, Lexi, nice and loud, please.
This man walked by our place and said he will buy our building. Our building. The girls put their short together again. They built it teepee style around each tree with a small trunk. Emily invited the girls over and set off. They followed, but had trouble keeping up. "You're fast," Sally said. When they got to Emily's chili bed, "You should be on check."
Nice and loud.
That night, Emily sent an email to me and said, "I built a new fort. Some old man tore down the other." I said, I
Goofed.
and on his property. Sally and Owen Puppies. There's some girls at the school. It's a neat fort. That night, Emily wrote another note.
Next night.
Emily wrote another note. Things are moving up. I made some friends who are on a track with me, and I'm going to try out for it. Wish me luck.
Yes, very good. All right, you're going to keep your book and we're going to go over the questions. Ready? Okay. First question. Why doesn't Emily feel comfortable at her new school? What do you think, Maya? Because she's deaf. What else can you say? And she needed a what? Interpreter. Okay, so she was the only deaf girl. That's a good answer. Write that down. Remember, you're doing complete sentences. Why else did she not feel so comfortable? Why else? There were some other reasons. What do you think, Anthony? You forget? And see, Maya's going to go back and look. That's a really good idea. It's a good tool to use. A good technique that if you don't know, you can go back and look. Good job, Lexi. Good job, Anthony. Go back to the beginning of the story. This was from the beginning. Why else do you think? Oh, Ethan.
Gesturing the sign.
Because she had to sign, and did other people know how to do that? Yeah. Other students, and did her teacher know how?
Yes.
No. Teacher did not know how. But there was one who did. And who was that?
Interpreter.
Her interpreter, yes. There was also another reason why she felt very uncomfortable. Think about this. If it were you leaving the school to go someplace else, what do you think? Some of you have already experienced that. What else could make you feel uncomfortable?
She was the only deaf person.
Okay, she was the only deaf person. Okay, but what else?
She didn't have any friends.
She didn't have any friends at the new place. So that means what? She left
She left her friends.
She left her friends behind. So very good. When you're done writing down your sentences, look at number 2. Get your thoughts going for number 2. How does Emily communicate with people? How can she communicate with people? Lexi.
By reading the lips.
She reads their lips. Very good memory. She reads their lips. What else can she do? Ethan. The interpreter can interpret? Yes. Very good. Yes, the interpreter can interpret for her. What else?
She can make hand movements.
She does hand movements. What's that vocabulary word?
Gesturing.
Gesturing. She can gesture. Very good. Give you a few seconds to write that down. Okay. All right. What else can she do?
Oh.
What does a deaf person do to communicate? We already said the interpreter. Say it again. Sign language. She can use sign language. She can sign. No.
Not really. Gesturing is like this.
Right.
Sign language.
It's a little more detail, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. All of us can gesture, but not all of us need to sign. Okay. Look at the next one. Why does Emily like running by the cornfields? There was a very specific reason for why she liked running. Anthony.
So then she won't have to see or do the traffic.
She won't have to worry. Yeah. She won't have to worry. Why would city traffic be a worry to a deaf person?
Oh, because she can't hear.
She can't hear. So can you imagine what city traffic sounds like? Yeah.
Like honking.
Honking, brakes, cars, all that stuff.
And it's like, beep, beep.
Yeah, it's noisy, right? Right? And what about a person walking through city traffic?
That's like, you can't hear anyone coming if they are coming.
Yeah, and you may not be able to hear someone coming. There's lots of noise, so it's very distracting, and it may not be the safest thing to do. So why did she like running past cornfields?
So she won't be worried about the city.
Yeah, she doesn't have to worry about city traffic. Good job. Look at the next one. While you're waiting, look at the next one. Get your thoughts going on the next one. Everyone should be looking at the very next one. Get their thoughts going. Looks like Cammie's looking back in the book to look for answers too. Look at the very next one. What happens to Emily's fort on page 8 and 9? What happens to her fort on page 8 and 9? Who remembers? Ethan.
The storm made it fall apart in the wind.
Yeah, a storm made it fall apart. Has that ever happened in your yard when a storm came through?
Yeah.
Does that
We
happen?
had a tree house in our swing.
So storms can be pretty powerful. So in this story, a storm came through, and Ethan's right, it tore it down. Look at the next one. Why does Emily like going to her fort? Why does she like going there? Why does she like going there? Lexi, your hand was up. Why does she like going there?
Because it's in the cornfields, and because it's like private.
It's private. It's by the cornfields. Doesn't have to worry about each other. But there's something else a little deeper, a little more emotional. What do you think, Maya?
Then she can she doesn't have to be by everyone who talks because she said it's so hard to be around people who talk and having a conversation with them.
Okay. All right. Let's think about the school setting. Think about the school setting. Think about her feelings about the school setting. Why does Emily like to go to the fort? And keep in mind of the school setting and her feelings for that. What do you think, Anthony?
So she can be alone.
So she can be alone. Okay. Why would she want to be alone in her fort rather than be at school? What do you think, Maya?
Because at school, she can't really do anything, can't hear anything or anything like that. And when she's by herself, she can just do what she wants to do.
Okay. Can you think about how she felt, Lexi?
There's too many people at school.
Too many people. Okay. Can you think about how she felt at school? Remember, she was the only. Let's go back. She was the
only deaf person.
She was the only deaf person. Say it again, Cammie.
She felt uncomfortable.
She felt uncomfortable. So, why does she like going to the fort?
Because then she doesn't have to be uncomfortable.
Because then she doesn't have to feel uncomfortable because she feels comfortable there. Good job, guys. Yes. Very good. Write down your answer, Maya. Look at the next one. Get your thoughts going on the next one. Get your thoughts going. See what you think. Look at the next one. What is Emily's first reaction when she sees the two girls and her ruined fort? Oh, bless you. What was her first reaction?
He thinks they tore her apart.
So what is her reaction? That's what she was thinking. What is her
Mad and
reaction?
surprised.
Mad. Yes. What else do you think? Lexi?
It was.
What did she think? Go off of Ethan's answer. She was mad and then she thought something else.
She thought that they did it and it was their fault.
Good job. Good job. Yes. She thought that they did it. So Ethan said that too. She thought she was mad and she thought that they did it.
Oh,
Okay, look at the next one. How do Sally and Karen show Emily that they want to be her friend?
They rebuilt the fort with her, and they invited her for the track team.
All right, so they invite her for the track team. There was there was a gesture that they did that made her feel that, they're not that bad. What do you think, Maya?
They were like, come on, come build the fort
Okay.
somewhere else. So, because a crinkle man didn't want you to build your fort here.
Okay, all right, Lexi?
they were trying to build, so it looked like she was building it when she came back.
Okay. If someone is wanting you to join them or maybe a grandma or a grandpa or a mom or dad, and they're at home with you, and you're doing your homework, and dad comes over and says, good job, you're doing a good job. How do you know that he's encouraging you and he is saying something that's very nice?
Because he's tapping your shoulder and
He's gesturing. He put his hand on your shoulder and gave you that gesture of, I approve of what you're doing. Can you think of what happened in the story? Can you think of what happened in the story that told Emily that these girls wanted to be friends?
They gestured to be kind to her
In what way? How did they gesture that?
by helping her rebuild a fort.
Okay, that's an action that they did. What did they do?
their hand.
Yes, they touched her shoulder. And they also told her what?
Nice work.
But something else. When you meet someone, what do you tell them?
Their names.
Yeah, their names. Very good.
I got it.
Another idea?
Yeah, she read her and put it on her uncle's one.
Okay. The property, yes. Yes, very good. Let's look at the last one. How did Emily's feelings about her new school change at the end of the story? How did her feelings change? Let's go, Cammie, with you gave us a thought about how she knew the girls wanted to be her friend. What was the one thought you said?
She felt comfortable.
Felt comfortable, but they did something. They asked her something. First of all, they noticed something about her.
She was fast.
Not that she was
fast.
yeah, she was fast. And Cammie, you said it.
Oh,
What
she
did they
invited
ask?
her for the track team.
They invited her for the track team. So thinking of that answer, how did her feelings change about her school at the end of the story? Anthony?
That she doesn't really have to be able to hear to have friends.
She doesn't have to be able to hear to have friends. What else, Cammie?
She felt confident.
She started to feel confident, started to feel comfortable. Very good. And then what else did she feel? If you're at a new school and someone says, hey, why don't you join the basketball team, or why don't you join the swim team? How's that going to make you feel?
Nice about yourself.
It'll make you feel good, make you feel nice about yourself. We said confident. What else? Can you think of any other type of emotions that would make you feel
Happy.
happy?
Excited.
Excited, cheerful. Okay? She was looking forward to it. Very good. All right, I will take your pages. Give me your books. And I'm going to have, you will now be able to go work at the back table with those things. Please take your chairs. Can I please have Group B come over with your chairs and your questions? Come over with your chairs and your questions.
Could we do this more? It's like, when you like see people, it's such a
Oh, you know what, Group B, you can bring the books too. Go ahead and bring the books. We're not going to read them, but we're going to go over the questions. Okay, you got your questions? Very good. Got a pencil too? Yeah, go get a pencil or a pen.